Twisted Time, Chapter 14, First Date. I know you're in there! Sakura yelled at the locked wooden door before her. Let me in, Ino! Sakura decided it was about time she made amends with her childhood friend. She was certain that the reasons for Ino's barrenness toward her were superficial and could be curbed if the two just sat down and talked things through, girl to girl. After all, Sakura was cleaning out medical herbs. Given her natural aptitude for brewing medical ointments, Sakura realized that she was to prove to her supervisors at the hospital she needed promotion despite her age. This might be her best shot. But she wasn't going to get her hands on any of the supplies she needed without Ino's compliance. Let me in, pig! She called at the Yamanaka flower shop door, the old nickname slipping out before she could stop herself. Maybe she isn't here. Sakura wondered, but then a small, delicate hand appeared in the shop window. The hand promptly flipped the open sign around, revealing the words closed instead. Alright, maybe the old nickname isn't helping in my case. Look, Ino, Sakura said with a sigh, loudly enough that anyone inside could certainly hear her, her forehead resting against the door. I know you're mad at me. I'm sorry. If you don't want to talk about it now, that's fine. We don't have to. Not a peep was made from within the shop. Sakura gritted her teeth. She was growing frustrated, but was stubbornly determined to have a proper interaction with the girl behind the door. In fact, let's not talk about it at all. There are way more important things to spend our time on anyways. She fumed. It was true, after all. Ino's petty attempt to create drama was just going to slow down Sakura's progress, decrease her chances of completing her time travel mission. She needed those herbs. He tired Phyllis was a stake, damn it. And to surprise, the door unlocked with a soft click. Sakura jumped back as the door was wrenched open, revealing a very annoyed Ino. Well, if you don't want to talk, what are you here for, forehead? She snapped, blue eyes narrowing. Oh, good question. I, Sakura mumbled while gazing at her feet, feeling the blush creep across her cheeks. She started fiddling with the hem of her red shirt as she tried to formulate a believable lie. Wait, sure, that's it! I need to go shopping, Sakura said, and bravely meeting the platinum blonde's eyes. My training dress is ruined. Now that was entirely true. In fact, not only was Sakura's training dress soaked with Sasuke's blood, but she had already thrown it out in a public dumpster to avoid explaining to her parents how it got to that state. Ino cocked an eyebrow and rested her hands on her hips. And why should I help you? She snarled. However, Sakura did notice her expression brighten slightly as he mentioned shopping. Just one more little push. Because you have a better fashion sense than I do, she answered. You always pick the best things for me, and I was wondering if you could help me out again. Sakura tried to put on a hopeful smile. There was no doubt that Ino had an eye for fashion. For instance, Ino was the one who urged Sakura to stop hiding her larger than average forehead behind her bangs. In Sakura's previous life, it was Ino that suggested that Sakura invest in a sleeveless training outfit or order pink shirt. Not only will this be easier to move around in, Ino said all those years ago, but the color just brings your entire outfit together. And as it turned out, she was right. Sakura adored that skirt. Ino averted her gaze, face tinted a soft shade of pink. Well, it's lucky you asked me now, she said, pursing her lips. I was just close enough to shop for my lunch break, so I might have a few minutes to spare. After visiting 3 clothes shops, Ino helped Sakura piece together a new training outfit. Both girls agreed not to deviate too far from Sakura's cigarette style, so they picked out another red dress with a high collar to use as a base. But Ino noted that Sakura's signature look needed a couple of key upgrades. Your old dress simply isn't practical, she said briskly, referring to the racks of women's training gear. The skirt was much too long, so the sleeves were baggy. It had absolutely no sex appeal. Honestly, Sakura, it's probably a good thing you went and ruined it. She saw Sakura, pointed and look, and rolled her eyes at the turn. Whatever you say, pig, she said as a smirk graced her lips. As annoying as the teasing was, the return of her friend's characteristically sassy demeanor was refreshing. As Sakura had to admit, the final product she and Ino picked out looked pretty fantastic. The new sleeveless dress was shorter than her old one, ending around mid-thigh and split down either side, as not to impede her movement on missions. You could kill Parrot with black spandex shorts. Sakura wasn't interested in any of the outfits that would expose her midriff, much to Ino's dismay, so they settled on a dress that included a thick black band around the waist. Which Sakura liked, because it had pouches for storos, and Ino liked because they accentuated her figure, and a white trim. With some encouragement from Ino, Sakura invested in a few extra accessories that greatly resembled the ones she had in her old life. A pair of black gloves, black-heeled boots, a large pouch fastened on the back of her black waistband, and stored medical supplies. She felt at home in her new boots, which were more like tall-heeled sandals, because thanks to her personal training with Tsunade, she learned to use high heels to her advantage in battle. The gloves were custom-made, so they didn't wear down chakra concentration, keeping her hands soft and unscathed for medical procedures. All in all, Sakura had a pleasant afternoon, and hopefully Ino did too. By the end of their outing, Ino even opened up about her recent missions, some town gossip, and her annoying teammates. Not once was a certain teammate of Sakura's mentioned, she noticed. It was hard to believe that maybe if Ino didn't see Sakura interacting with him, she would forget why she was angry in the first place. In the coming days, Sakura did a splendid time in minimizing her public interactions with Sasuke. They barely spoke towards each other during the days, in fact, aside from the odd exchange during Team 7's training sessions. He didn't seem to mind. Sasuke was never one to initiate casual conversation anyways. So certainly no one, not even the ever-watchful Kakashi, would suspect she's been sleeping on the couch at Sasuke's flat. You might want to stop at your place to gather your things, Sasuke had commented 2 nights prior after an evening of training with Sakura. Things? She repeated, between gulps of wire, while casting her teammate a curious glance. You're sleeping at my couch tonight. Sakura rolled her eyes on the memory. She had reluctantly complied with Sasuke's rather demanding request that she avoid her bedroom at night. The arrangement was only temporary, he explained, until they decided on a proper bait to lure out the predator, capture him once and for all. It wasn't so bad, Sakura eventually reasoned, since he was always at his flat late into the night to plan their hospital break-in anyways. Sasuke's flat was sparse and had a simple blueprint. There was a small sitting room to the left, and a smaller kitchen to the right, and a hallway leading to the bedroom, storage closet, and bathroom down the center. Sakura spent her time at the kitchen table or on a sitting room couch. They didn't dare roam or touch anything without approval. They quickly fell into a routine where, after dinner, Sakura would pack her training gear. After explaining to her parents she was heading out for extracurricular training with Sasuke, she always did, slip away to Uchiha residence. This was getting close to bedtime, and after she was sure her parents were asleep. She would create a saddle club, send it back to sleep in her bed. And the plan was foolproof, really, since Sakura made sure she was awake at the crack of dawn each day, was home before Sasuke and her parents woke. That way, if her Shadow Clone Jutsu broke while she slept, she would be home to replace it before his absence would raise any suspicions. It seems that Sasuke's place was riddled with the odd nightmare, but none were as horrific as the nightmare which prompted Sasuke to crash through her bedroom window. Luckily, Sakura's parents paid for the replacement window and didn't seem to suspect Sasuke's involvement in it breaking. However, Sakura's mother was adamant Sakura needed professional counseling in her sleeping problems. She was convinced that the extraneous ninja's lifestyle was traumatizing Sakura out of a good night's sleep. They offered those services at the hospital, and as an employee, I'm entitled to free sessions, she said to appease her parents and keep them out of her hair. Because honestly, as much as she would probably benefit from it, opening up to a counselor about the sources of her nightmares would probably land her in an asylum. As far as her break-in planning was concerned, Sakura made use of her shifts to the hospital to collect data. She knew where the MRI machines were located. The cast giving her subordinate role, she wasn't supposed to be anywhere near them. On the day she decided to get lost at the radiology wing of the hospital, she tried to peek in her room with an MRI machine to gain her bearings, but the door was set in her face. And what are you doing here? asked the stern lab technician. Just finished up in the room Sakura wanted to snoop in. You don't have authorization to be in this wing. This is nothing, Sakura answered hurriedly, turning her heel. I was just looking for my supervisor. Sorry. She had it over her shoulder, before rounding the corner, starting down an adjacent hallway. Damn, that was close. You were extremely strict about entering unauthorized areas, particularly with Sakura being on a 3-month probation. So you've been hoping to check what model of MRI machines was currently used in Kanaha's hospital. So you complete the procedure faster, so you knew exactly how to use the machine before she got there. After all, she lost her chance. So instead, she signed out every book on MRI machines from the hospital's medical reference library, studying them thoroughly. Why don't you just try to look in the room again? Sasuke asked while sitting down with a mug of tea. She was so immersed in her reading, she jumped to the sound of his voice, having nearly forgotten she was sitting at the kitchen table. It would be nice to know if there were any windows in there, for a quick escape if we get caught. All the studying seems a little unnecessary. He cast her heaping piles of books at a skeptical glance. Because, Sakura said exaggeratedly, she scribbled out a point down her notebook. I can't risk losing your trust. If anyone at the hospital says I'm up to something, there's absolutely no way we'll get away with this. She finally turned her eyes away from the text, assuming a serious look. He'll be the one operating the machine while I'm inside of it, you know. These detailed instructions are for you, so you're welcome. Sasuke raised his eyebrows. All right, he said. Thank you for letting me risk my future career to help me break into a hospital for a reason you won't tell me. The expression was blank, but the corners of his mouth twisted, so he apparently resisted the urge to smirk. Hey! Sakura exclaimed with a frown. I'm holding up my end of the deal, so you're getting something out of this. I guess so, Sasuke said with a shrug. After a pause, he added, but you still won't explain why we're doing this, will you? No, she answered shortly, directing her attention back to the papers. Not yet, at least. Sasuke rolled his eyes to turn away. Well, I'm going to bed. See you. He said with a small sigh, running his fingers through his tousled black hair. Right, good night, she answered, but Sakura's eyes followed her teammate as he stalked down the highway to his bedroom. His interest in this arrangement was puzzling her. Instead of spending their nights at the training ground, which was, without question, Sasuke's favorite place, he was literally sitting here at his flat, helping Sakura with a scheme he didn't even know the purpose of, all in exchange for keeping Sakura under his watchful eye. Now she was starting to wonder, what was he actually getting out of this? A girl that he really, 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 really likes, but won't admit how much he loves her, so he's keeping her close and safe from any potential danger. But that's just my Sake fanboy kicking in. Finally, the day arrived for the hospital break-in to be executed, and Sakura was confident they were as ready as could be. She and Sasuke memorized a map of the hospital, which identified where the video cameras and traps were set up. Based on Raise's scanning, combined with memories from her previous life, Sakura also trained Sasuke how to basically operate an MRI machine, which was a task he would be responsible for after he set it up and hopped inside of it. That morning, during Team 7's training mission, Sakura couldn't quell the thoughts of her oncoming break-in. She felt a little guilty for breaking the rules of her own workplace, but, she reminded herself, these brain scans might hold eye-filtering secrets with direct implications for her time wrestle mission. Sakura-chan! A voice distracted her from her thoughts. Yes, Naruto? Sakura asked calmly, glancing up from where she stood against the rail of the bridge. Your clothes! He said with bulging eyes. He looked her up and down without making any effort to hurry to stare. They're sexy! I like them, Sakura-chan! Oh. Sakura mumbled, feeling the heat rise to her face. Today was the first day she tried out her new training outfit. Apparently, Ina wasn't kidding that her old outfit needed upgrades in the sex appeal department. Thanks, Naruto. Sasuke, who was leading the rail opposite of her, didn't seem to share Naruto's appreciation for her new clothes. Looks impractical, he mumbled, and eyeing her heel boots skeptically. Only if you don't know what you're doing in now, she retorted while folding her arms. Just pretend you're not attracted. Just pretend you're not attracted. Despite whatever Sasuke thought of her outfit. 14 hours later, it was about midnight. Sakura was striding along with him down the dark streets of Konoha, with the outfit under a white lab coat. Her heels clicked softly against the solid ground beneath them. Would you keep it down? He hissed. Glanced at her feet, apparently quite annoyed with the sound they made. We aren't using stealth, Sakura reminded him. I'm going to walk straight through the front door and let you in at the side entrance I told you about. I know, he mumbled, but Sakura knew he was still concerned over her choice of footwear. Sakura figured that breaking in at night would be their best bet. The hospital technically had less staff when it was late, since regular checkups were held during the daytime. The only patients who needed tending at night were those in long-term care facilities with critical injuries. So when Sakura let Sasuke in at the side entrance, she promptly stabbed him in the arm with a kunai. He knew it was coming, but still felt his surprise. I would have appreciated a warning before you did that, Sasuke growled through gritted teeth as he smeared his spilling blood all across his arm. Shh, he said while dragging him into the hospital's maze of hallways. You're my patient now. Sasuke reluctantly stumbled on after her, taking on newly assigned role. Speaking of role, I have no doubt that this is stuff that Sakura and Sasuke roleplay whenever Sasuke comes home. Sakura knew the only shot they had at getting to the heavily guarded hospital was from the inside. Thankfully, the first part of Sasuke and Sakura's plan was executed flawlessly, thanks to their meticulous preparation and plenty of dumb luck. No one stopped them on their way to the radiology wing. In fact, the few who crossed their paths together or waved at Sakura barely spared him a glance. Sasuke kept his head low as Sakura dragged him through the halls. While Sakura knew his Sharingan was activated, keeping a sharp lookout for any unwanted disturbances. Once they were safely locked in one of the rooms of an MRI machine, Sakura was relieved to find that the Mala machine was one she had studied and could probably operate with her eyes closed. He swiftly took action, with Sasuke using his Sharingan to monitor the hallway for intruders, Sakura firing the machine up. She programmed it to send the scans of her brain directly to her personal electronic files. Then, she had Sasuke explain to her what he was about to do before climbing into the white tube and laying on her back. She closed her eyes and the machine warmed her life. She kept her eyes firmly shut as she was surrounded by the echoing bangs and beats until the machine fell silent several minutes later. Assuming Sasuke followed her direction, their work was finished. She climbed out and found Sasuke was shifting his gaze between the controls and the door. I'm done, he said. There are a few people in the hallway, so let's wrap this up. That's fine, Sakura said briskly. I just have to erase the data before we go. Once again, everything seemed to go smoothly. Sakura managed to strip all of their data from the machine's history after she sent herself to scans. As she set the machine down, switched off the lights, when Sasuke gave her the go-ahead, pulled it back out into the hallway. Piece of cake. Or so she thought. She had only taken a few steps down the hall when Sakura noticed that Sasuke's arm still had her kunai embedded in it, was starting to drip blood onto the polished white floor. She cursed under her breath, and as she didn't mop it up, anyone who suspected that an MRI machine was used without authorization had an extremely obviously DNA sample to track her teammate down with. Sakura made a detour to the nearby bathroom to grab some paper towels and soap before hurrying to scrub the floor. Sasuke kept watch while attempting to staunch the bleeding with the white sleeve around his forearm. Sakura barely had enough time to clean up any of the blood when Sasuke suddenly grabbed the back band of Sakura's waist and gave him a yank. With the utmost surprise, Sakura was forced to stumble backwards, and her back was slammed against the wall. Only then did Sasuke release the band and raise his uninjured arm in front of her, indicating that she needed to stay beside him. Before she had a chance to express her confusion, voices and loud, hurried footsteps echoed from a short distance away. Moments later, a crowd of medical ninjas carrying a stretcher raced into view. They danced past Sasuke and Sakura, trampling over the drops of blood Sakura had missed. With Sakura assumed that a trauma-paced brain injury hastened into the nearby rooms. That was close. Sakura's heart was racing a mile a minute, and her forehead was damp with sweat. They needed to get out of here. Sasuke was right. If they got caught, both of their future careers would be in jeopardy. Not to mention, any hope of success in Sakura's time travel mission was at stake. She got fired from the hospital. Chances of getting any real medical experience was impossible. So he exchanged a quick look with Sasuke. His expression seemed to hold the same panic or resolve she felt. They booked it. Sasuke and Sakura ran down the winding hallways, down a flight of stairs, past several surprised-looking people. They booked it. Sasuke and Sakura ran down the hallways, down a flight of stairs, past several surprised-looking people in white coats, back down the side entrance, and as far away from the hospital as their legs could carry them. Sakura reasoned that their work was done, so there was no sense of creeping around. As long as they avoided security cameras, she used chakra to conceal the sound of her heels hitting the solid ground. The sooner they got out there, the better. Keep going! Sasuke called over his shoulder. Sharingan activated as they raced out the door into the chilling night air. She sprinted through a clearing separating the hospital from the main road. Sakura kept his stride with her teammate, gently keeping her legs and arms pumping until the hospital was out of sight. Finally, they rounded one last corner and emerged from an alley between two office buildings. They were back at the village core. Sakura doubled over to catch her breath. You could hear Sasuke was breathing too heavily. The dark road was deserted, aside for the couple stumbling home from a late night of drinking at the local pub on their night. Sakura figured it was 1:01 in the morning. Kurenai, Asuba, is that you? Once she composed herself, Sakura stripped off her white lab coat and slung it over her shoulder while Sasuke pulled the kunai out of his arm, spiraling more of his blood into the ground. No, sir, if I like that plan, Sasuke mumbled while wincing and eyeing his arm apprehensively. Let me heal that. Sakura replied curtly, begging him to offer her his arm. Sasuke raised his eyebrow, but obeyed her request nonetheless. She hooked her arm around his and started pulling him down the street. Using the coat over her shoulder to conceal their intertwined arms, the green glowing chakra in hand. The less attention drawn to them, the better. I can't believe we did that, she breathed after a moment of walking through the dark streets. She could feel the wound on Sasuke's arm close beneath her gloved fingers. Sasuke snorted. I'll say, he said. At least it was interesting. Sasuke raised her eyebrows. Interesting? He shrugged. The stuff was good training, and also a bit enjoyable. Enjoyable? Sakura gaped at her teammate, and the contentment on his face. He chuckled as he caught sight of her dropped jaw. I suppose Sasuke always did have an affinity for breaking laws. Well, I'm freaking out, she said. I could tell, Sasuke replied. After all, he could probably feel her racing palm against his arm. Don't get your hopes up we'll ever do that again, she huffed, just as the scab of Sasuke's arm disappeared in her hand. But Sakura didn't release his arm just yet. She was really quite on edge, and holding on to him was stinging. Besides, they blended in with the surroundings better this way, with there being so many intoxicated people nearby, with their arms turned around each other for support and, well, other things. Sakura averted her gaze in the narrow path ahead of them, which led to the Uchiha compound. After a pause, Sasuke spoke again. Maybe you're right, he said. Next time it'll be somewhere else. Sakura opened her mouth and closed it again. Next time? She repeated. Did he really think she regularly broke into places, or was he just getting a kick out of making her panic? Just where do you propose we go next time? Next time for what? A new voice said directly behind them. The pair had stopped dead in their tracks. A chill ran down Sakura's spine. She hadn't even said to anyone there. Sakura whirled around with surprise, found herself face to face with none other than the silver-haired masked sensei with an orange book in his hand. Kakashi looked unfazed, but Sakura knew too well that he was a master at disguising his emotions. Considering how he likely found her suspicious, getting her wandering the fields in the middle of the night wasn't a good look. Sasuke looked quietly, equally surprised, as he stared at Kakashi in silence, equally unsure how to respond. Sakura racked her brain for an excuse. Maybe she better unhook her arm from Sasuke's, because that in itself looked rather strange. This struck a crazy idea. We were on a date, she lied evenly. Sorry for being so late. I promise this won't interfere with our training, she said with a polite bow. She could hardly believe the words spilling out of her mouth. Sasuke tensed, and Sakura didn't dare look in his direction. Kakashi glanced up from his book, with an expression of mild interest. Really now, he mused. his visible eye lazily sifting between his two students. Well, I guess that explains a lot, he said, amused expression appearing on his face. Don't let me keep you. Sorry for interrupting. You're not interrupting anything, Sakura said with a forced smile, feeling her face glow red with embarrassment. Her sensei only smiled. Have a good night, you two. He turned to leave, but then, I have a book I can lend you if you need advice. He added with a twinkle in his eye, before fancying in a cloud of smoke, leaving Sasuke and Sakura alone on a dark path of complete silence. Once he was certain Kakashi was out of range, as casually as possible, Sakura untangled her arm from Sasuke's and stepped away from him. Mirrored the accident hesitantly, Sakura continued along the path towards the Uchiha compound. Sasuke wordlessly followed suit. Her head was spinning. Just what the hell happened there? She couldn't believe she told Kakashi they were on a date. Sasuke was probably pissed off beyond belief, but she figured that at least Kakashi would leave them alone now, right? Well, this complicates things. Sakura snapped her head at teammates Racing and found them just staring determinedly ahead. She was a little surprised he had broken the silence. What do you mean? She asked. You know I was lying. I do, Sasuke agreed. But I was afraid with concentration. But Kakashi doesn't trust you. He finds that you lied to him for being out this hour. He'll trust you less. Sakura stopped walking. Her heart sank. Because Sasuke's comment confirmed what she was dreading. Kakashi's negative sentiments towards her were in her imagination. Our team will suffer as a result. Sasuke sighed. Kakashi won't want you on high-ranked missions, which will hold all of us back. Well, what do we do now? She asked as it dawned to her huge mistake she made. Sasuke clenched his jaw. I don't think we have a choice. And one final note. Happy 20th, Naruto! Yep. I just found out Naruto's been a manga for 20 years now. Come on. Let's just start getting back to the manga now. Weird.